interactive talk about. Now from what have been presented, the summit aim and objective seems to be like we target young girls and the need to gear them towards STEM fields. Gain the confidence in their STEM, that is make girls to gain confidence in their STEM skills, build leadership skills towards their roles in STEM fields. Again, finally, we'll discuss interactively the opportunities, challenges, and forward. So starting here, Marie Curie, so I tend to make my quotes from the scientists that are my role model. And right from childhood, Curie has been somebody I looked up to. She's someone who made in her feet. She's 2 times Nobel laureate in physics and chemistry. And she gave this inspiring quote here, that nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. And now is the time to understand. In a presentation in another forum, and that time I said, now we have understood more. And therefore, this is the time for us to feel the strength. Another of our quotes is this one that also inspires me, and I hope it will also inspire girls in STEM. You cannot hope to build a better world without improving the individuals. To that end, each of us must work for our own improvement. Now, I believe that the organizers of this forum, this quote is one of the things that they are doing. They realize that there is no way we can build girls, build their careers, and have a better world without improving them. So this kind of summit is actually geared towards that, so that we can improve them, we can girls. So I want to start briefly, even though it has been mentioned before, but just as a recap. What are the STEM fields? We all know that STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But these days, we have several variations incorporating the arts and reading these days. So you have STEMA, and some people say STEAM, which means we have science, because it's left. It is even though it's a scope, it is it is a device for science, but it cannot work without the designers who would have artistic, because is also incorporated. And then some have also included R. So we have stream, but there's also a wide range of fields of study in STEM and all the other variations. So because when you talk of the arts, there are so many fields. If you talk of reading, there will be a wide range of reading, which books. So reading is also the wide range. Then there is mathematics and the related subjects of physics, and this is where the major snag and constraints and what before on maths and physics anxiety among girls, which is a stumbling block to them going into career in the STEM fields. And I think with the Age Network, I will share the slide of that It's called Overcoming the Maths and Physics Anxiety, in order to achieve, for girls to encourage girls to pursue careers in the STEM fields. Now, the science in STEM also refers to a wide range of fields of study. We have the medical fields, which is usually very attractive to young girls, biological and biochemistry, pharmaceutical. Talk about leaders in a particular field, roles, a decision-making role, or who can actually play a role in getting things done. Because you can be part of a team, and if you are not in the leadership stream, you'll end up not being able to influence the decisions. So I say that the world population, as we know, as at 2020 on the world population billion, and it's almost a ratio of 1:1, because there are the statistics show that 101 male, 100 female. This is by the World Demographics 2020 gender. There are so many problems, and these problems are related to both gender, males and females. Now, some problems, for example, it is the woman who experiences this disease. And so she is the only person that would be able to relate what she feels, and therefore, which will determine what kind of treatment is to be given. So females need to be part of it. And I will illustrate in the examples below, and there are many more examples, why there is a need to take into considerations in the decision making for certain things. Women, if male, decision for how it should be treated and so on, also emanate from the male. Now, women are needed as leaders in STEM for these particular reasons, for the social and moral reasons. Women feel awkward if it's going to be males that are going to be the ones to either treat them, if we talk about the medical fields, and some other things as well, which for moral reasons, we need women to be the ones to take charge in such a case. So all of that are a combination of why we need to create leadership for female. That if we say we are going to push forward all this reasoning, even if people are not going to, because for that everyone is agreeable, that if the economic well-being of nations is going to be influenced by female, an estimation that kind of by 20, perhaps we might get them to really sit up and say, okay, let's be there. Now, that example I was talking about female, in the 1960s, scientists, which are mainly at that time they were males, determined the average office temperature based on the metabolic rates of an average male. So they wanted to say, okay, what would be the office temperature? And then they determine. Then it was found that the average office temperature was too cold for the woman, because they did not consider using the average female to look at her, use her metabolic rate in order to determine it, or to arrive, if they had used that of males and females, they would arrive at a compromise. So it was found that the average office temperature was too cold for women. Then the further research went on, which took into consideration a woman's metabolic rate. And then it was found that the woman's metabolic rate is actually 30% higher than that of males. So for this reason, women were uncomfortable in the office because they felt cold. And if they were uncomfortable in the office, it resulted in less productivity, or they tend to leave the office early. And then the men use that against them. They were leaving before the tests were active. That was why they were not getting, that was the reason why they were not being productive. So you see the reason why we need women to be part of the decision making, part of the determination of what is actually scientifically proven. Now, what do we do now to gear our girls towards the STEM fields? One of them is overcome this maths and physics anxiety. And overcoming maths and physics anxiety, like I told you, it's something that I've talked about on its own. It was also about 30 minutes presentation. And I'm going to share, God willing, that PowerPoint slide with the Age Network, and probably they would give it to the girls. So this, to gear them towards STEM fields, we need to do a lot to overcome the math and physics anxiety. And this is a role that involves almost everyone. And in that of overcoming the math and physics and anxiety, we need to debunk the stereotypes. Debunk the stereotypes that girls cannot do it. Girls cannot do maths. Girls cannot do physics. Girls are not good enough to cope in so and so. Those are just stereotypes, and we need to keep debunking them so that our girls feel confident. In all these things, parents need to play a role, because they would need to also give the confidence to their girls to say, yes, you can do this. I want to be an engineer, Papa. Yeah, and Papa will say, yes, my girl, you can do it. You can do it. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a pilot. And then the parents would say, yes, my girl, you can do it. So we need the parents to play a role. The teachers can play a role also, encouraging, not tailoring their questions only to the boys, but making the girls also to be part of it and praising them. And they're saying, yes, yeah, that is it, you got it right, and so on. And then the community also needs to play a role by looking favorably on the girls who opt for the STEM fields. And so I say this is something we can do, and we need to do it together. So gain confidence in their skills. What do we do in order to make the girls gain this? We have to do it together. So I'm borrowing from this artist. So like I said, I told you that the art is also part of the STEM. This artist, and it was on Instagram, she created this design in collaboration with the nonprofit I Am That Girl, as a symbol of our collective power, solidarity, and overall affirmation. So may we pose the question, what changed from? I will need the girls to be able to go on this website. Kimoti, she's a creator of a gorgeous book featuring the portraits and stories of 50 incredible women for teens and adults. It's at this website, mightygirl.com. So I am that girl. You are that girl. Together we can change the world. It's a white thing, it's a black thing, thing is a colored thing is everybody. Together, we can change the world. And we need to build the leadership of girls to new ideas and ways of thinking. And new ideas and ways of thinking links to debunking the stereotypes. We have to let them know that this is a new world and these are things and the government growth. This kind of summit should in all the fields, make them develop professionally and also have some personal growth. Provide opportunity to broaden network of contacts and networking skills. And I'm glad that the Age Network is doing that, keep doing until we get there. Enhancing leadership and interpersonal skills from mentors. So bringing together the girls today and bringing mentors like you have, the Age Network has in their aims and objectives, in their is a way of enhancing their leadership and interpersonal skills, and this is something that we must continue. Benefiting from the mentors, advise the girls must benefit from the mentors as well, or the mentors advice on developing strength and overcoming weaknesses. They must overcome the weakness and lose that anxiety for mathematics and physics for them to build a career in the STEM field. There is so much. There is so much that one thing, if I just want to start from the local community, there will be visibility in your local community. If you're a medical doctor, you will help your local community. If you're an engineer, you will help your, if you are a pilot. So people will say, okay, it's that girl, is that engineer girl, it is that pilot from so there's this visibility in your community, which brings joy and contentment. Then there's visibility nationally. You will be recognized as your nation. We've seen a lot of, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, where people are celebrated. They say the first Nigerian, the first female. So that visibility is also there, which for example, I won the Elsevier Awards for early career in physics and the physical sciences. This is a kind of award that started in 2012, which rotates between physics and mathematics, the life sciences and chemistry, and it has extended even now to the areas in agric and so on. Currently, I am I'm a selection committee member on that award to that bring recognition, and more know that it also carries some cash awards. There are some recognition, in fact, international recognition that can go between $5,000 to $50,000, and it will about $1,000. So achievements possible. This is like for the girls, have the cash as well. Once you keep going, moving, you can get to a leadership position. There is no again saying that one. And once they work hard, and I want to believe that girls are capable of staying the course, of being more honest, of carrying out what the to do, and therefore they will be capable of winning the Ibrahim Leadership Award, also that rewards leadership in any of the fields, in the STEM fields, in any other field. Well, those are things that you can aspire to. African Science Leadership Award is there also. There are so many things you can search. Elsevier Connect, ICTP, Organization Women in Science in the Developing World. the World Academy of Science, all of these, the world is very small. Just dream. I can build dream into one recognition. So I want to actually end by giving us this. This is a thoughtful African proverb. I know that Professor Augustina, the first presenter, made some presentation that you won't go anywhere if you do not know the direction. So this is a thoughtful African proverb. A good wind is no use to a sailor who doesn't know his direction. So you must first, this is where I want to go. I want to be this. And this is how I mentorship that we are doing now. No amount will if you do not pick a direction and know that this is the direction in which you want to go, and then you keep moving in that direction. So finally, I want to the picture that I have here illustrates a Hausa proverb which says hannu ɗaya baya ɗaukan jinka. Literally translated, the thatch roof made of thatch, and it needs to be carried and placed on the mud hut which has been built, which is a round structure. Now there is just no way one pair of hands can carry the thatched roof without destroying it. If a pair of hands attempts to carry it, it will break into pieces. So what you need is from each edge, you need a lot of people to hold onto the edge and carry it, and then they go up and then they place it on top of the thatched roof. So it only buttresses that we can do it, but we can only do it together. I want to thank you for listening, and God bless our girls, and I pray that they keep moving forward, and God bless Age Network. Continue to work for humanity, and success will be what will be our goal, and that is what we'll achieve. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm done. Hello. Hi.
Hello, thank you so much. It was extremely enlightening and extremely motivating. Whatever you said, that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Visibility in our local community and visibility nationally. Japuji, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Can I be heard? Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, you are. You are. You can go ahead, please.
Okay, great. Um, so I would like to ask you some questions. What do you think needs to be done to help students explore possible STEM careers?
Um, Mainly what needs to be done in my opinion is this type of encouragement. The more we talk about it, the more we bring the girls together, and then the more we show them role models who have succeeded, because it's a case of, if she can do it, then I can too. So if we can keep doing this, and we don't do it in just, it's not just a one-time thing, it's a constant thing, because the stereotype has been something that has been on over a long period of time, until it's drummed into our heads that this is it. You can't. If you are a female, you should just go for the soft things. You don't need, you can't do this, you can't. That you can't has been something that has been ongoing for a long time. So what we need to do is to keep on saying you can, and we keep doing it. I think for me, that is what I think is the, and this for over I think over 30 years. This is what I have been doing, going to schools, encouraging them, and then the fact that I have done it will be like I see that as a role modeling and mentoring to show them then that it is possible.
So basically, they need role models. Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I've always believed that they need role models, because it is not enough to tell them that you can do this, you can do that, and when they have not seen anyone who you need to present to them XYZ, they did this. This is a pilot. This is an engineer. This is an aeronautic engineer. This is an electronic. This is a medical. This is a biotech engineer. You need to show them, and then they say, okay, this is she's a female. She was once a girl like me, and she did it, so I can do it too. So that's why I think I've always said that role models are a powerful tool. They're a powerful tool rather than just telling.
So they need to see someone doing the things that we are asking them to be doing, basically. Representation.
Yes, yeah. If you're doing, if you say
Yeah.
mathematics, you need to see, you need to show them a female maths
Yeah.
the teacher of a female maths professor, a female. There she is. Then she's doing the maths. Then the anxiety goes. Yeah, yeah, and the more of them that they see, the more, the more they lose their fear, and then because it happens even with my department. When we were first employed, we were just two, and most
Oh.
of the girls that come into the physics department, even if they are forced to do physics, after the first degree, they tend to move. They do this postgraduate diploma and in another field, and then just jump into that other field, leaving the physics behind. But gradually, when we were employed, within the span of time that two of us were employed in the physics department, we started seeing many physics applicants actually who even apply to study physics,
Wow.
not just being forced because they applied to study medicine, and then because they couldn't get a place in medicine, then they were pushed to physics. So we no longer had that. We had people who were actually applying for physics and people applying for mathematics, and they were females. So I have this feeling that the more females, and now we have 5 more females in the department, and with that, there is more encouragement. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Brown, Dr. Brown of it.
Okay, am I
Hello.
permitted to say something
All right, I think
or to
that's
comment on?
Mohammed,
Yes,
right?
I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Mr.
You
Professor Rabia Sa'id.
can we
I'm here.
I'll just now would like Mohammed to say something quickly, and then we will come back to you.
Okay.
Mohammed.
Yes, okay. It has been a very wonderful presentation by Professor Rabia Sa'id.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Is saying Hanu Daya Baya Daga Jinga. That is a one hand cannot carry a touch rule. So coming to that, what a very
I'll just make it
because
short.
saying this, it has been part of our challenges in STEM. Because what I experience now is that when someone have the zeal of going into STEM, but lacking group or not having group, it has an impact on making him not to complete the project or making him to have a kind of disbelief that he cannot be able to make that specific project he is in need of, because group matters a lot in STEM education, because sometimes a things that you can be able to produce or a project that you can be able to do under STEM education, which it will take you a month, 2 months or 3 months, but if you are not doing it in group, that project may take you a year, which what she has spoken under group, it has very important. So even if the girls are going into the STEM, they should make sure they have the zeal. They should come together as a group that have the zeal to be into STEM education, then they can be able to succeed in whatever they lay their hands on. But standing alone or putting hand alone cannot make an effort. But joining hands together can make someone success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Mm, yeah. That is true. Actually, together we achieve more. Yeah. So it's teamwork. It's teamwork, and we are doing that. Each and every one of us in our little corner, trying to bring together girls to work together in groups. We will be able to bring a lot into the group, and then everyone will be thinking in the same way.
And up to that again, you know, when you have different people, each one have different thinking. So each and every one will bring down his critical thinking based on the project or based on what you want to produce. So you can be able to sit down, chat with each and every one. You should not downgrade anyone, but seeing each and every one as a standard, everyone can give his advice. So you may think you are more than them, but what they think or their critical thinking may be a very important, or it may be a good idea that can be useful for the STEM education.
Oh, thank you so much. I think, yeah, we I think in essence that we cannot do it alone, and in every corner, which even if it's one might think it's too small, but it's actually contributing immensely in someone else's life. I think we can proceed
I
now.
have a short contribution, if it's okay. I raised my hand, but
I've been trying to press. I wasn't able, because that's when I went to the chat thing to try and find you. So I don't know what happened.
thank you very much, Professor, for that insightful presentation. And just to add to what Izid Mohammed just said about ensuring that we are working together. So in terms of group work, I would also want to add two more things to it. There's also something known as peer mentorship. So within your peers, you can look up to some of them. Chances are that some of them may have some very unique leadership role. Sometimes it is natural, sometimes they actually learn. So peer mentorship also plays a role. And then I think mentorship in general, because I think I've said it on your platform that the mentor always sees a certain hope you do not see in yourself. So mentorship is also an important thing we may want to consider. Then thirdly, I like role models. But I would rather go in for a mentor than a role model, because for me, I think that the role model is someone you see from afar. You are shy. You don't even want the person to know that you admire. In fact, when you see the person pass, you want to step aside because the person is like your little God. But as for your mentor, you should be able to sit down with your mentor. You should be able to sit down. I'm not saying that role models, you should have a role model, but the only limitation is that the role model may not be approachable, but your mentor would always be very approachable. Your mentor will see a certain hope you do not see. And apart from mentor, apart from role models, apart from peer mentorship, you should also believe in yourself that yes, if this person has done it, I can also do it. The unfortunate thing is that we belittle ourselves so much, especially as young girls. The amazing thing is that as you belittle yourself, amazingly, someone looking at you, someone standing far off, may really be admiring you. So it's important that we chest out and we believe that yes, we can. Thank you.
Oh, yes, such a fruitful contribution. Thank you so much. And I think I just realized the time that we've had a lot of technical issues and so forth. Dr. Brownfield, my pronunciation, please correct me. I do not want to say it wrong.
Just brown is okay, please. The way you're calling it Ofonime, it's I'm trying to hide.
Am I fine? Am I on the right track?
Just the brown. Brown is
Hello,
okay.
ma'am.
Thank you. So I think it's my time, right?
Excuse me, ma'am. I want to ask a question regarding mentorship.
Oh, can
Hello. So I'm trying to share my screen
we
because I'm out of time. Oh,
can we do this so that we can have yeah. There's a girl who would like to ask a question to Dr. the Augustina, right? So
Yeah.
after that question, yes. After that question, can Dr. Brahma Ofonime, can you please proceed with the
okay.
presentation after that?
Ma'am, may
Okay.
I
All right.
start?
Yes, go, yes.
Yeah. Ma'am, what if
we get no support from our mentors. Like there are times where our mentors, where our professors don't support us. As an undergrad student, like, let me share one of my personal experience. I find it hard to to get a letter of recommendation from my professors. So what if our mentors don't support us? And what if there's no one to guide us, no scholar, nothing? Like, we are all alone. All we have is this digital media. We I Let me tell you my personal experience. I have to ask, especially the people on social media, to get future prospects, and to get to how to excel in my field, etc., etc. But what I'm trying to say is, I personally, as an undergrad, I don't have any support from my college, not from my mentors, etc., etc. So how to deal with that? Like, how should I excel even in that situation?
Um, Thank you very much. I think the first thing I would want to say is that you are already on the right path by joining in this particular discussion or this program. I'm sure
That's
after the
wonderful.
program, a lot of the ideas you had may change. Number two, mentorship is a two-way affair. I heard when you were sharing your experience that they don't even write a letter of recommendation for
Yes, ma'am,
you.
exactly.
I will
Ma'am,
not.
they don't even reply to my messages. Let me
Listen.
share you, like,
Yes, I understand. You know, the interesting thing is that, like I said, it's a two-way affair. No mentor wants to feel being used. Okay, I have students who completed their undergrad like 4 years ago. You never hear from them. They don't even send an email. Hello, madam, I hope all is well with you. Then one day they call you, madam, I need a recommendation letter from you. And tell you what, writing a recommendation letter is serious business. The fact that you have sat in my class doesn't mean that I can write a recommendation letter for you. Look, a recommendation letter means that I am putting my stamp on you, and
yes, ma'am.
every single thing I have written in that letter is true. So, if I never interacted with you, I will not be able to write a recommendation letter for you. Now, like I said, mentorship is a two-way affair. There's a mentor, there's a mentee. The beautiful thing is that most of the time, the mentor knows more than the mentee. Now, if my mentor knows more than me as a mentee, then I need to be doing, as a mentee, I need to be doing the running after. So I will not sit down and wait for my mentor to check up on me. I will be doing the running after. I will be the one writing the email. And I need to even know how to write an email. I will not just write an email to my mentor and say that, dear madam, I need a recommendation letter for you. Now, when I receive such an email from you, then I feel that you are selfish. You are only interested in yourself. The amazing thing is that, like I said, it's a two-way affair. The mentee ends up learning a lot from the mentor. The mentor also learns a lot from the mentee. I have learned a lot from my mentees. But the unfortunate thing is that most of the students we have currently, some of them, well, not all of them, or most of the mentees we have, they are only interested in themselves. They do not do the running after. If I have a mentee and I am the one doing the running after, then it means that maybe I need my mentee to give me some information to do something else. But really, it should be the other way around, because I know that my mentor, I can get a lot from my mentor. I need to be doing the chasing after, so that if I need a recommendation, I mean, writing a recommendation letter is really the one of the very few, I will not even say important things your mentor can do for you. There are a lot of more important things if you are really a mentee, your mentor can do for you. I know that in some, I'm so sorry I'm spending a lot of time on this, but in most of our,
Please, my laptop is almost going off now because there's no light. Maybe after my session, you can elaborate more on mentor and mentee thing.
right.
Sorry. So sorry about that.
Can we? How about, because we're having challenges there? Sorry to interrupt, Dr. Augustina. How about before the end of the session, we can share your contact details with the form code, and then if they have further questions, then they can contact you directly, and then you can see what you can do for the. If you are willing, then maybe you can do something like that, because we're running short of time. And Dr. Tina says the laptop battery is running low, and she doesn't have electricity.
So can I
Dr.
start now?
Dr. Stina,
Still more than activity.
Madam.
Can I start?
No, I was asking for a bit of leeway, because we having. I didn't cut you off. So I was just asking for a bit of leeway so that we can proceed. So how do you feel about maybe providing contact details at the end of the session, so that if we have further questions, then we can ask you directly?
Absolutely. I'm very, very happy and excited to do that. Thank you.
Or thank you so much. Mm, Dr. Ofonime, you can proceed now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Sorry, I had to cut you guys short. So my name is Ofonime Brown. I'm a STEM enthusiast and also a software developer. So I'll cut short the time frame given to me because I'm out of time now. And I also mentor. Since you guys were talking about mentorship mentee, I'll just run out my slide and I'll conclude with the mentorship mentee thing. So I'm going to be talking about STEM for girls. It's more than an activity. Not more often than not. I'm not going to introduce them because the first speaker did justice to that, and I'm so happy. Then the second speaker to talked so much about, almost all what I needed to talk. So I'll just be rounding up on what they didn't really touch. So STEM for girls is more than an activity. And we know that I'm going to start with this quote that I love so much by Sherry Gordon. If the only goal is to win while competing and not learn anything in the process, kids are going to feel discouraged when they lose. And I always refer to my own experience that while I was trying to be a medical doctor, I failed chemistry. And I had to, I know it was not a good thing for me as at that time. My parents were not proud, they were not happy, and I was not happy either. But I needed to enter university. And as at that time, even if you have a pass in chemistry, you can still enter for any science related course. And that's how I found myself in computer science. But I've been able to deal with failure. So that's why I like talking to STEM girls, little girls, teenagers, loads, women, ladies about failure. Accept it and move on. And that's why this quote comes. I had to put this quote for everyone. So now, introduction. I'm not going to talk more on the introduction because the first speaker already talked about it. Then, importance of STEM. While building a STEM person, a STEM girl in your house, it starts with the parents, not necessarily teachers. It starts with the parents because by the time your child, maybe you are a lawyer, you're not in a STEM field, and your child has been introduced into a STEM related activity in the school. And each time they get home, they start giving attitude. You start seeing that likeness for STEM. Or normally a parent would be like an African parent will tell you, I want my daughter to be a lawyer, to follow into my steps, which is actually wrong. For instance, a lawyer, a daddy lawyer, a mommy lawyer, and now they're trying to raise a baby lawyer also. Allow your children to be themselves. Always allow them. And when you see that, we STEM girls, we always try to step in, educate the parents, allow your child to, to fly in whatever STEM related courses they want to. And it's always difficult for the girls, because if they have parents that are not STEM related, they always feel, oh, they don't like math. And even I don't think there's anybody in this world that will come out to tell you that they love math. But it's the attitude, is the desire, the encouragement, the discipline built into them over time that make you just see a STEM girl flying high, so high in math, flying high in science related subjects. But back there in the system at home, what are the parents doing? So that lies so much on the parents. And that's why 2021, I think we should all collaborate and go after the parents. Let's talk to the parents. Let's raise a campaign. Allow your girl to do STEM activity, because STEM is more than an activity. It's just a learning process. And I can assure you that girls that are in STEM, they fly high in non-related STEM activity. They think fast. By the time you're asking them things outside STEM, because they've already been introduced into the way STEM think and all that, STEM behave, you see them flying high, giving answers that you yourself, you'll be shocked that a 5-year-old can tell you, can count 1 to 1,000, can answer questions that people that are girls that are not even in STEM related subjects are having difficulties at. So now just to move straight to my body. So my body is saying here, it's not an activity. It can start like a game or activity. It's more than a game or an activity. So allow them anytime. If you can also buy STEM related toys for your children, starting from 9 months. Introduce them to that process. Then girls are okay. We always have issues of girls always telling you, like there's a STEM activity I was co-anchoring, and a little girl walked up to me that she does not like this thing. I was like, why don't you like this activity? She said she's not even a science student. I said it's not for science students alone. And I had to quickly call the teacher that what is going on with your little girl? She's not interested. She's having difficulties in getting all these things together. And she said, well, that is it, that the parents are the mom is a business owner, the dad is a lawyer. And I was like, oh, that is where the system is coming from. And such a girl, all you need to do is to bring her into the system, enlighten her, make the activity, turn it into a group, into a fun thing, and the teachers have another thing to do, and another learning process to go for in all the STEM activity. Don't make it just a stereotype, because more often we women, we feel, oh, this person has done more. Like me now, I'm coming into the talk late. I'm feeling, oh, they've already talked about what I'm supposed to talk. So there's always this thing we call imposter syndrome. And it's always starting from from the smallest age. Let's say from 4 years old, you see a little girl start feeling backward, it's a little girl pulling back because she feels they've done everything. She doesn't understand. Or maybe she got to the class late. The teachers are shouting on her. Her friends are ahead. And among that same community, and educate them, elevate them, help them to build their confidence, and I can assure you that by the time all this is over, they'll build and they'll stand out in a STEM related subject, in a STEM related field, and you'll be proud of them. You might not necessarily know them, but what crosses your mind anytime you see a STEM girl standing out in a field, you feel proud. You feel, oh, somebody is actually representing a woman out there. And that is just it. So the next thing that I'll be talking about is confidence. We all have confidence. It's in us. The strength is in us. Even when we are weak, even when we feel nobody's doing anything, we all have that confidence instilled in us. We were born with it. So there is no way we should always try and accept whatever. If you accept defeat, I can assure you that you will walk out of that defeat being confident, learning a new perspective to that particular defeat. So confidence is always in every STEM girl out there. Then a step up approach. There's always a step up approach. And in all approaches, like the other lady that was saying, she could not get mentorship, she could not even get a recommendation letter. Think of another approach that without all these things, what if these things are not in place? Does that mean that you will not be able to move from that particular stage that you are? You can move. Think that is why you're a STEM girl. You must always be able to step up your approach. If this activity is not working for you, if this system is not working for you, there's always a way for anything. Like me, I work with Maritime, and by the time Maritime was shutting down because of COVID-19, it did not stop me. Of course, I was devastated. I was like, oh, how am I going to start my career? How am I going to push this? How am I? But I discovered that there's so many things to do in the STEM related world. There's so many things. We have the autistic children. They are not introduced into STEM. So what do you think will happen to them? They are not introduced to STEM. People are even, you can't even go near them because you feel, oh, they don't have emotions, but there's something you can do in that field. So if this field is not working, think of another field that you can, you can walk in there, shine out and still be yourself. So always try and think and step up your game. And that's why you're a STEM person, because you will always think of anything. If you cannot do coding, you can do design. If you cannot do design, you can do so many things that it's just there in the STEM field. Time will not permit me. I would have just mentioned so many activities that you can be doing in your field. Even as a graduate, even without job, you'll be earning money and you'll be employing other people too. So I'll just move on to my conclusion is that set smart goals. Always have a goal. Always think of a goal where you want to go to. Smart goals, specific, have a role model. I know role models these days, everybody's busy because of the COVID-19. Necessary. You might not even be able to get a role model, but that role thinking in your head that you want to approach it, that is like a small goal to you can actually carve a vision board around it and put it by your bedside and walk towards that. You've not met the person, but you can be more than that person, and you can even surpass that person. Also have a vision board every month, every week. Have a vision board for that week. Have a vision board for that month, and it will actually help you. And also join a community. There are loads of community. We have coding black females out there. We have She Code Africa. We have She Code Australia. There's She Code India. There's She Code, I don't know. There's so many community there. We have women in Linux. We have women in data science. There are so many community there that you can actually Google, even if there's nobody to guide you. Join. There's also women in Android. Recently I got a scholarship with Google and I was lost because I didn't know how to start. But if not for that community, I will not be able to even excel to be able to do my project in Android, because I was not even in the Android field at all. I was just doing software. So that's just it. Then in mentorship, we have STEM girls. Global STEM girls, we have Connect Command, we also have She Code. We have She Code Africa. They render mentorship to girls. We also have all these communities in schools, but it's not loud. But I think this 2021, we should all collaborate. I'm number one in this collaborating thing. We should all come out and, make noise. Let people know that there's mentors out there